Alright, Vintage Cube round 3. Let's see if we can keep our hot running alive. Gotta reanimate, gotta show and tell. Do not have any blue mana. Hopefully we draw a blue mana. If we draw blue mana, this hand suddenly becomes really good. But we'll see. And our deck is also mostly black cards. So other than swamps, pretty much anything in our deck is a fine draw. Forest. And Mana Crypt. Oh boy. That's a lot of mana, really fast. And Wall of Roots. So our opponent's going to have a million mana next turn. Like literally a million mana. Island? Huh. Iona. See, we can pass. Oh, this is hard. So we can pass for 2 turns, try to discard Iona and reanimate, or we can keep playing lands and hope we draw blue mana. Waiting and discarding is a guaranteed way to reanimate, but it might just be too slow. I think we have to keep actually playing. There's also a possibility that we have to reanimate this Sakura Tribe Elder next turn to get blue mana to show and tell. Our opponent does lose 3 life to their Mana Crypt. Hopefully they don't have like a Primeval Titan or something. Garruk Wildspeaker makes a beast. Ooh, we draw the blue mana. Alright. Oh man. Can we show and tell? What happens if we show and tell here? Oh. They could have something huge. If they have something that just beats Iona in combat, then we're really in trouble. Eh? Hey. We came here to be risky. Let's be risky. I'm a little nervous that they could have something massive to play. Like if they put in an Adventure of Zendikar or something. Green. Oh, they just put in a land? Oh, now suddenly things are looking good. Oh. Our opponent apparently was out of action. They lost another flip. They can't play green cards. And if they do nothing, I think we upkeep Mystical Tutor for force. Alright, makes another beast. Yeah, so our opponent did nothing, so we are going to Mystical Tutor on upkeep. Then we search up this Force of Will. Play the Swamp. Now we're going to just attack our opponent. Because we have a 2-turn clock. And then I guess we can reanimate this Sakura Tribe Elder as a blocker. And just pass. Now we have Force of Will in case our opponent has a red card that could beat us. Man, they've lost all 3 flips. And we got there. Sweet. Whew. Alright, this is going to be a fast matchup. We can bring in our Lifebane zombie finally. In place of Shadow Mage. And that's probably it. I mean, if we can reanimate fast enough, we should be able to beat this deck. Alright. Let's see if we can keep the streak going. Mana's a little awkward, but we do have Compulsive Research, so that's good. Oh boy. Alright, let's see. See if we're fast enough. Alright, well that's much less threatening than Mana Crypt, so we can deal with that. Let's just Polluted Delta past the turn. I think we want to get a Swamp with our Polluted Delta. Port. Well, good thing we didn't crack that fetch. We'll slow the port down at least for now. Port isn't very good against us anyway. Draw another Swamp. Yes, let's crack Polluted Delta. Get a Swamp. Play Mox Emerald. Island. And Compulsive Research. I guess we'll just discard a land here. Probably Karakas? Yeah, that's fine. Next turn we can do something like Lifebane Zombie plus Duress, or Lifebane Zombie plus Careful Study, something like that. And this Duress should let us know if the coast is clear to show and tell something, assuming we draw it. Is this a Courser? Kitchen Finks, alright. Opponent gains a bit of life. We draw a Murderous Cut. Well, let's just lead on Careful Study. No. Yeah, let's lead on Careful Study. Land in land. So we'll discard, I think, Bitter Blossom and Island? Yeah. Now we play the Swamp, Lifebane Zombie to exile a green creature. Ooh, a hoof. Alright, glad to get rid of that. So Sword of Fire and Ice, Skull Clamp, and Garruk are left in our opponent's hand. Craterhoof Behemoth is a blowout. That card would beat us, so I am glad that we got rid of that. I'm not even sure they can play the Garruk now. We're going to Skull Clamp up the Kitchen Finks. Yep. Alright, so we're taking 4. I think that's fine for now. We don't really want to block and give our opponent 2 cards at the moment. They can't play either of the other cards in their hand. And we can Murderous Cut it eventually if we need to. Opponent's probably going to tap our island with Port. Yep. Tasigur. So, how do we do this? Let's attack with Lifebane. Duress our opponent. Get rid of the Garruk? And let's get rid of the sword. I don't think Garruk's really a problem. Play Temple of Deceit. Do we want to draw Go for the Throat? We already have 2 removal spells, so probably not. And then we can Tasigur, exiling Delta, Karakas, Island, and Careful Study. And pass the turn. So our opponent can play Garruk, but I don't know if it really gets them out of this. They're going to need some big draws. Yep, there's Garruk. Wonder what they do here. If they make a beast and attack with Finks, I think we will block. Maybe. Alright, no attacks. Pack Rat. Well, let's get rid of Garruk. And then, do we want a Pack Rat? Let's just pass, and we can leave up our removal spells and activate Tasigur. Alright, we'll take 4 from Finks here. Moves over the Skull Clamp. So let's activate Tasigur. Duress, Bitter Blossom, Compulsive Research, and Force. It gives us back the Duress. Taps down one of our lands. We draw Swamp. Well, I guess we just attack with Lifebane. Play the Swamp, and let's just pass the turn. Moves over the Skull Clamp. Hits us for 4. That's fine. We are going to kill this beast, though. Let's Murderous Cut this beast, exiling everything. Before it can get the Skull Clamp on it. And then activate Tasigur. Getting back Toxic Deluge or Murderous Cut. Gives us back the Deluge. Taps our Temple. Ooh, Dark Petition. Well, let's attack with Life Bane. Play Pack Rat and just pass the turn. Now I think we gotta block the Sphinx. Lets our opponent draw 2 cards, which is annoying, but gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Good news is we have a lot of removal in our hand. And a Duress. Another land for our opponent. Gilded Lotus. Arbor Elf. Gonna equip up the Kitchen Finks. Draw a couple cards. Gets rid of the Kitchen Finks though. Llanowar Elves. Now let's Pack Rat pitching Dismember, I think. Yeah, let's pitch Dismember. Opponent's probably gonna tap a land. Taps our Temple. We draw a land. So we can duress our opponent. Actually, we could Dark Petition into Griselbrand. Could also Dark Petition into Iona. Or we could just kill all these elves. That might be even better. Just, actually, let's just attack with everything. Let's play this land. Attack with everything. See how our opponent blocks. If they block. Alright, we'll let that go. Now let's duress, see what our opponent has going on. Gideon and Ulamog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, I guess in this case we need to Dark Petition for Liliana. Liliana. Make our opponent discard that Ulamog. Pass the turn. Well, they need a huge draw right here. Opponent was empty-handed. And the appeal is, because they had enough mana, they could have cast this Ulamog. Oracle of Moldiah. And a Planeswalker on top. I don't know if this matters. They could cash in Llanowar Elves to draw cards. Which they probably have to do. Because I think they're dead on board. Especially since we have Toxic Deluge. Yep. Cashes it in. Draws Green Sun Zenith. And a land. And that Planeswalker. So they can Zenith for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm glad we cast that Duress last turn. We could have actually died there if we had not. And we wouldn't... I wasn't thinking that we should tutor for Liliana, so I'm glad we saw that Ulamog too. That would have been pretty bad. It would have killed us in one attack, and we didn't have enough mana to, or life to Toxic Deluge it away. So that worked out really well all around. And got the GGs. Sweet. Well, yeah, well, it turned out pretty well. We wanted to play Reanimator, and we ended up with a really good example of a Reanimator deck. Pretty close to as good as it gets in the format. It didn't have the Entomb, one of the big things we were missing, but otherwise, just a really solid Reanimator deck with a good plan B, and just pack rats and planeswalkers and tassigers since we're filling our graveyard, cheap tassigers. So we just had a lot of value and card advantage built into a deck that can randomly just win on turn 2. Well, there's a planeswalker. So we got the GGs from our opponent, but they're going to run it out by the looks, which is fine. Draw some more cards, but they are just dead next turn, I believe. They draw, I don't know, land and something. Thran Dynamo on top. So they are a ramp deck. And it has some solid things, but not as solid as our nutty Reanimator deck. So, well, that was a fun one. Definitely not fair, but that's where you want to be. Another nice unfair deck. This time, Reanimating Griselbrand and Iona.